Randy with a notebook, Wendy with a pen, digging through the dark where the secret's been. Questions fly like bullets, truth cuts deep in the shadows where nightmares creep. Watch them break it down, unveil the lies, under lurid skies where the danger hides. With fire in their veins and distrust in their eyes, Randy and Wendy taking you for a ride. Clues left scattered like whispers in the wind. Every page they turn closer to the end. No stone unturned, no mystery safe. Through the chaos they pave the way. Watch them break it down, unveil the lies, under lurid skies where the danger hides. With fire in their veins and distrust in their eyes, Randy and Wendy taking you for a ride. Clues left scattered like whispers in the wind. Every page they turn closer to the end. No stone unturned, no mystery safe. Through the chaos they pave the way. Watch them break it down, unveil the lies, under lurid skies where the danger hides. With fire in their veins and distrust in their eyes, Randy and Wendy taking you for a ride. Late nights burn bright under the moon. Answers buried deep, they'll find out soon. Guts and glory on a darkened stage. Randy and Wendy script the final page.
Love that song.
I do too. Hey, you're. Oh, I'm excited. We have a newcomer that knows this case. That's exciting to me.
Oh, I love that.
Me too.
Please don't be sad that we don't know this case.
I do know this case though. a
Oh,
little.
good. Yeah, I'm sorry. Me, I don't know this case.
Yeah. Hey,
Sorry.
everybody. Thank y'all for being here. Oh, I'm sinusy, but I'm all right. I'm sinusy. Had a headache.
Justice
Days.
Jane, are you new? Is that who you're talking about?
hmm
Well, hello, Justice Jane.
You're gonna
Nice
love it
to
here.
meet you. Yes, you're gonna love it here.
I'm
Sandra-
fighting. I am. Yes, Jane. I'm telling you, this one. I'm kind of. You did. Oh, well,
Hey,
Thank
Sandy.
you.
Hey, Into the Blue. Hey, Pammy B.
Everybody.
You guys. Sorry, I just was saying hi to people. Sorry. Hey, Alicia.
Alicia, how are you doing? See, y'all know me. I'm wanting to go to this trial.
She wants to go to all the trials. Let's just be real.
All the trials. I'm here in Tennessee, closer to this one than the one in Florida. You know.
Yes. And why don't you go? I think you should go.
Jim says I'm not ready because of the tires on the van.
Yeah.
Oh, are you in Tennessee, Justice Jane? Me too. Me too.
Ooh.
It's not 30 minutes from me though. I'd have to.
You'd have to
I'm glad
decide
to
if
see
you're
you.
going to drive out there every day or because it's like just far enough where it might be worth it to stay out there.
All right, another Tennessean into the blue. Welcome.
But you could drive
can't
it
drive.
and come home every day. You could do that. It's not.
No,
No, you'd stay out there the whole time.
I couldn't drive home every day. It's a 4-hour drive.
I thought it was only like an hour and a half, 2 hours.
No,
Are you sure?
no.
Okay.
It's in what is it? Blunt, Tennessee,
I
right?
don't know. I have no idea. I know nothing about this case, remember?
How long would it take me to get to Blunt, Tennessee?
Don't dox yourself. Mute.
I'm not saying where I am.
But Siri's got to stay where you are.
No, I didn't ask Siri. I asked Google. 3 hours and 36 minutes.
Okay, well then. All right. Well, that's pretty far.
Jonesboro, Tennessee. Well, I think it's going to be at the Blunt or the Blount, Blount County Courthouse is where it's going to be, and I think that's well, I looked it up last night. Hey, Teresa. We have a Into the Blue
Hey,
here.
Teresa. Oh, Alicia, I went to the Jordan Vandersloot trial. You did? Oh, I bet that was good.
Oh,
Isn't he the
oh,
guy who killed Natalie Holloway?
yes. Who said that?
Alicia did. Dang. That must have been very good.
Yes. Look,
Was Nancy Grace there? Because Nancy Grace covered the hell out of that. She talked about that for years.
I'm
I think that's
texting.
something she would go to.
You may have to get me tires.
That's right. Let's just get the tires then. Come on, you're gonna have to get them in a couple weeks anyway. It's January 30th.
I know.
I mean, it's not like the Stefan trial is 8 months from now.
Right.
A couple weeks, my girl. Here in Peru, yes, she did. Oh, the case was in Peru. Gosh, Alicia, I didn't realize you were in Peru.
Yeah. Oh, her accents.
Yes, and he killed a friend of my father's daughter. Oh my gosh, Alicia. I know he had a second victim. I did know about her. And I can't remember her name right now, which is terrible. But you knew that a friend of your father's. Oh boy. Wow. So that case obviously meant a lot to you, I bet.
Yeah.
And it took way too many years for that son of a bitch to get justice. Or, finally.
Yeah,
Throw him
that's
away.
right. And this one is going to be big. It's Sullivan County. It happened in Sullivan County, but it said it didn't say Blount, it said Blount or Blunt.
That's what she said, Blountville County.
Yeah,
He's asking, is it Sullivan or Blountville?
Sullivan. No,
You just said a second ago that you thought it was Blountville.
no. That's what I was trying. It didn't say Ville. It said Blount.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. This
Yes,
case
Tammy
shakes our
B.
community. Yeah, because when it happened, which we'll dive into it in just a minute. How was your day? Everybody in the chat, how was your day? Wendell?
My day was good. I have a really bad pinched nerve in my shoulder. So it bugs me a lot. I've been irritated by it, but my son put his elbow in it earlier today and now it feels so much better. You ever do that? Or you have someone just jam their elbow into like a muscle and just wiggle slowly until it starts crackling? That's how you get knots out. Love it. Felt so good. That was my day. That was a highlight of my day.
Is there any Airbnbs close, do you think, to there? I went to the store. Woo.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! For the grocery store. And I had to get eggs. Anybody want to chime in and bitch?
What I've heard is the price of eggs are higher than ever. That's what I've heard. Yeah, sounds like someone needs a chicken.
Celebrating. Hello.
Ooh, what are we celebrating?
Yeah.
Hey, Nana Patty, what are we celebrating, honey? What are we celebrating?
You're trying to stay neutral with her grandma and boyfriend also being involved. Well, Ethel, I see that Vinnie Politan has put out a new video and we're going to watch it together. And because why did they change the charges? They changed her charges to first-degree murder with premeditation. And I don't know that the grandma was really involved or because so, hey, Brantley, it goes like,
hey,
the
Brantley
baby was missing and then no one called the cops for 2 months. Hey, Alan.
I never understand stories like that where the baby's missing and no one notices or says a word for 2 months. I don't understand stories like that. How does that happen?
Right. And so last night I'm just watching thing after thing on it and I'm just punching Jim in the arm. I'm like, what? Because, I know when this happened, it was big. I guess I thought that, yeah, I think they knew too, that it had been taken care of because it's been so long ago. So it just kind of, you know how, like we said with Sarah Boone, not many people showed up at the courthouse because 4 years people didn't even remember. I'm talking about that was in Florida. Now they did from the internet.
Yeah. Well, I
So,
just hope that we can hear this case. I'm tired of
ugh,
getting all excited about a case and then microphones don't work
or they don't use them.
or they don't use them.
They're
Yeah.
like this.
Yes. So I hope that we can hear this one.
They're glammy lammy.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Show is fucking painful to watch, man. Painful. They really
Yes,
just need to shoot it and put it out of its misery. Good bless. Ugh, it's horrible.
how
Anybody
are
else watch
things,
the Mafia
Sandy?
Milker? God, it was terrible.
Mafia milkers, yeah,
I can't. It's terrible. I've tried so hard to give them a good fair chance, man. But it's horrible. It's painful. It's painful.
it is.
Nobody has a plan. Nobody has anything that they're ready to talk about. All they do is argue and fight, and then
But they don't argue and fight with the right people to keep the audience going.
right.
And then,
Everyone's chatting over everybody else, so you
yeah,
can't hear anything. It's just it's just a whole cluster. It's terrible.
yeah. So, yeah. I mean, but today, like I didn't glue to it either, because I'm just like bored with it.
Yeah, I
And
think I'm done.
I think Xylee needs an attitude adjustment. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna tell.
I don't watch Rewind at all, but I agree with you about her. She came up there to try to get that guy who was eating crickets. I thought the whole point of the milkers was that they weren't cows. But yesterday we had Wonder Woman wanting to roll around in cow manure. We had the other guy sitting up there eating crickets out of a can. It's all cow behavior, all of it. Like, what the heck? They're supposed to not be cows, but I don't think they even know what their show is.
They don't
Glammy is
either.
off the walls, and she needs a damn picture or something. Her backdrop is ridiculous. Like, how you this far into it, you don't even have any color on your wall? Like, for goodness sake. There's so many things I just want to. So weird.
Well, I
Crickets
wouldn't eat
aren't even
crickets.
grass. Exactly, Alan Lamb.
Gross.
but
Not
it's
grass.
oh,
Not even
I thought you said, like,
grass.
just cows eat grass, and they're not cows. Get it? That's what I thought we were going with that. Crickets aren't even gross. Well, yeah, they're human grade crickets, so they're not. I mean, people do eat them for protein, I guess, or whatever. But it's still strange. It's strange. It's cow behavior, and there's not supposed. I don't think any of them know what their show is supposed to be. They keep saying things like, "We milk the cows." Okay, what does that mean?
You haven't milked a cow yet.
They don't even know what that means. They don't have a clue what that means.
And as soon as you ate a cricket, you became a cow.
Yes. And then as soon as you offer to roll yourself in cow manure, like, you don't know you don't even understand what your own show is. Crazy.
Well,
anyways,
let me find Sandy
lame.
Law's news.
Moving on.
Sandy. Both are doing well. I love you, Sandy. I love you.
They do make flavored ones. Yeah, there was like sour cream and onion crickets.
Oh, ugh.
I mean,
I think they said those were sour cream and onion, and
so weird.
So
they're terrible. Anyways,
I haven't watched the Vinnie Politan video because I was watching other videos last night. I didn't even know Vinnie had a newer video about this coming out. So, but so the baby goes missing in December of 2019, reported by her grandfather in February of 2020.
Wow.
She said she thinks her grandfather gave Megan an ultimatum and told Megan that if you don't report her missing, then he would. So, but then you got to, all right. So Megan is the mom. Baby Evelyn is 2 years old. That's the baby that, got murdered. They murdered her. That's it.
Did they ever find the baby?
Yes.
And what was the cause of death?
Asphyxiation.
Okay.
But here's what. So the daughter goes on, and you can. Oh golly, I should have found that. I'm going to. I'm gonna find something right quick.
Okay.
I want y'all to see her interview.
Hey, Florida Gray.
Hey, Florida Gray. I want to. I'm sure that I put it. I should have kept it last night.
I think that's so strange that the grandfather had to say, if you don't report this, I will, instead of saying, what the hell, where is your child?
Because she was all right. She's saying, well, all right, I'm going to play this interview. This is the mom, Megan, the one that's going on trial next week. This is her giving an interview 4 years ago. And I don't know, you're going to be able to tell something, and I'm sure they could too. Something was up when this was being done.
What is she even smiling about?
Never.
Huh? Do what?
What is she? Is that the mom?
That's the mom.
Why is she smiling?
Right. This is after her baby's been missing for 2 months.
Oh my God. I'm going to say all the kinds of bad words.
We're going to say the words. Oh, yes, I gotta get it.
Which I'm very thankful for. She's just a really good-hearted baby in general. Like textbook how you want a baby to be, like has hit every milestone early, you know what I mean? Well, when she was 6 months old, she actually put a bottle on her own and went straight to a sippy cup. She started walking probably around like 10 months. That was kind of hard though, because she's like not like small as in like underfed, you know what I'm saying? But like she was a preemie when she was born. She's like a smaller baby, and she kind of had trouble like balancing her weight, but she finally got the hold of it. She's starting to say a lot of words, and you know.
Tell me what kind of things she likes to do. What kind of is she into any sort of TV shows?
Only Baby Shark. We went to Texas to see her dad, Ethan, and she slept the whole way there. Like I had to make her wake up to eat and stuff like that, and that's like a 24-hour drive there.
So let's get into the last time you saw her. Tell me what that time was like and when that was.
Well, actually, I want to talk about that. I've told TBI where to find her in Mendota. My mom took her to a campground and a silver camper, and if they don't go tonight, I'm going to go find her myself.
Right. Red flag, red flag, red flag.
What? Why wouldn't she already be on her way to go find her? That makes no damn sense.
Right. Wow. She did Snowline. Yeah. I mean, this right here, this is that punchable face.
Because I've told them, and they're not really like
Right,
taking it
tomatoes.
seriously. And if they don't go tonight, like I will go myself and go get her.
Tell me about the last time though that you saw Evelyn. Tell me what you guys did and when that was.
We went to go out to eat, and then my mom came and got her. She was wearing a little hot pink tracksuit with the matching bow and little matching shoes.
That part's true. That's what she was wearing.
And was this December 20, like right after Christmas?
A little bit before Christmas. My mom, like you can ask her, is a very vindictive, manipulating person, and
Yes.
she basically like threatened me the whole time that
do
she
know
was
she's-
gone.
Huh?
I didn't say anything.
I think I'm hearing a background.
You know who has Evelyn right now?
Oh, there's somebody over behind her saying, yes, she is. Okay.
Wow.
She dropped her off somewhere in Mendota at a silver camper. But my mom would always say the person, not like people, plural.
So there is a person that has her in Mendota.
They're not taking me seriously. TBI isn't, because I've not fully told
So
them. I've
she's
been,
blaming it
hey,
on her
like, my
mother?
mom-
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Camped out at Mendota, you want to go check them out, but I've never been like specifically, hey, she's not your silver camper, because my mom did threaten me, like, you know, if I told anybody. I'm not gonna get into that, but she did.
Why wouldn't you get into that? Your baby's missing. Your baby's
Exactly.
missing. Why would
Oh God, this girl.
So your mom has had Evelyn the whole time. Or the whole time.
Or the person that is in Mendota has had her the whole time.
Tell me why you
And why are you okay with that?
why are you so calm? So
Why
many
are you
questions.
okay with that? If my mom was supposed to bring my child home and didn't, that be resolved that night.
Oh yeah, there
That's
would have been no
something
2
resolved
months.
2 months from now.
Matter of fact, my mom wouldn't have took my baby.
No, of course not. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, there's the way that she tells this, like this happens every day. You know, my mom came and took her and dropped her off at a silver camper. And if the TBI would go and find that silver camper, well, it's TBI's fault, basically, is what she's saying here.
Jesus, wow.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the whole family, her whole family lives, they call it like a compound. They all on the same property, different places to live, but same property. Her old playhouse is on that property. Okay. Just
Okay.
gonna say that. Mm.
Did she take her from you that night? And
Well, she was just supposed to babysit her because I was going to work.
then when did you know that something was wrong?
Well, whenever like she picked me up Wednesday, and I told her like, hey, they're doing a press release about the Amber Alert thing, and then she freaked out, and that's why they couldn't find her. Like nobody talked to her for days until they arrested her. She just kind of poof, gone. But she kept trying to take me to Mendota, and I kept asking. I was like, are you taking me to Evelyn? And she would never tell me yes or no. And I was like, well, if you're not, I'm just calling somebody from the police station to come and get me. Like I'm not playing these games with you.
And so tell me, the day that you dropped her off with your mom to let her babysit, was there anything off about your mom that day? Did you have any suspicion that she was going to take your child?
No. Well, I called her, and she was just like, oh, she's safe, like, that kind of thing. And then she started threatening me, which, like I said, I'm not going to get into, like, everything she threatened me with, because I'm just not. But
Why not?
Now that you believe
Right.
you know who has her, what do you have to say to them?
to just bring her back.
Look in her camera.
I just want her back. That's all I want. I've been so long without her, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, why didn't you report it missing earlier? Because my mom threatened me, and I just want her back. That's all I can think about is how much I just want her back.
Talk to me
Wow.
about when you had
Yeah.
the indication that
The
she
woman
was
next to her had to tell her to look in the camera.
Jesus.
missing and something was seriously wrong.
Just when she left and took off and just to answer her phone.
Talk to me about why your dad made that report.
Because he was talking to my mom the night before, and he was like, oh, well, if she doesn't come home, I'm going to call. And she was going on, well, you're going to regret this. Like, I'm going to have to leave and never be able to come back. You will regret this.
Was there a reason that, that you didn't make the call and it was your dad?
Because mom kept threatening me if I made the call.
You said that you've had some issues with your mom in the past. Was there a reason you decided to let her babysit her that night? I know that, you said that you had...
Yeah,
Well,
why
she's my
would you?
mom. I wanted to trust
Her mom's been in and out of jail. She's on meth, in and out, in and out, in and out. Stayed in jail.
Wow.
her.
Sheriff Cassidy told the media on Friday, I was there, that you were giving conflicting statements.
Because I wouldn't necessarily, I was trying to protect my mom, maybe in hopes, oh, well, she just tell them where Evelyn was, but obviously she's not going to.
So now you're coming out and you're saying this is the honest truth, that you know where she is.
I know she has to be in a campground in Mendota with somebody. And mom told me that they had a silver camper, and that's all she would tell me.
Are you cooperating as much as you can with TBI and the Sullivan County Sheriff's Department?
I am.
But just tell me, how so are you, constantly on the phone with them, talking to them about the tips, anything like that?
Yeah, and I've looked into stuff online myself. Like, people are like circulating pictures around me, like, oh, this is Evelyn, you know what I'm saying? And like that kind of thing. But no. And like Saturday, nobody would answer me, and I blew all their phones up. And every chance they've let me be up there, I have been up there.
And Wednesday will be a week since the Amber Alert went out. Tell me what you're thinking right now.
I just don't know if the person who has her is like maybe scared that they're going to get in trouble. But they won't. They just bring her back.
What are you thinking about her current status right now? Do you think she is okay? Do you think she's being taken care of? And what is your message to authorities right now? To the TBI, Sullivan County, and all of the sheriff's departments and any authority that's working on this case?
Just that if they don't take it seriously, what I just said, I will go find her myself. They've told me before they'll arrest me for tampering with evidence. And I told them on my phone, I was like, I don't care if you arrest me for tampering with evidence. If you go up there, I'm going to tonight.
Do you have a message to the public?
Don't stop until she's back. They need to stop reporting like psychics for one. Like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Because that just wastes the TBI's time when they could be actually trying to find my daughter. Instead, people are like, oh, well, this lady did a tarot card reading. Like, You know what I mean?
And you know what? If my child was missing, I would let everybody whoop out every tarot card they had, anything they had, anything.
Well, I tell you what, I'd be dragging my mom by the fucking hair into the police station. Tell them where she is. Like,
Yes, my
honestly,
mom would be waterboarded until she told me exactly where my child was. That's it.
absolutely.
That's all.
Yes, absolutely. The heck,
And I wouldn't be grinning and smiling because I'm on TV.
right? What the
I feel
hell?
like that just takes away from the time of like them actually searching for my daughter. I'm just happy that people are coming together to try to find her, because the main
My word,
important thing
Mama.
right now is the baby. I'm just happy that people are trying to find her.
Have you been in contact with her father recently?
Yeah, he's actually trying to get leave approved right now to come up here and try to, help find her.
What is her relationship like with him?
She's only been around him a couple times because when he was in the army.
And what is your relationship like with him? Do you keep in contact with him?
Well, yeah, we have a kid together. You know what I mean?
Did you notify him when you knew something was wrong?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you have multiple social media profiles? Is one that we've been getting.
Because I break phones a lot and I forget the password. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm really bad about remembering passwords. Now I have them all set to one, but, up until that point, I just,
That is so stupid.
I just couldn't remember the password
Yeah.
to them.
You know that
So
your
I'll just
password
make a
is
new
your
one when I got
face,
a new
right?
phone.
Tell me why you wanted to come
Well,
out today and speak
this
with
was
us.
4 years ago. I have to
Wow.
say I have one daughter with about 10 Facebook profiles because she has forgotten her password so many times. But now that she's an adult, she doesn't do it. So
Just to talk about Evelyn, if TBI doesn't go find her tonight, I'm hell bent on going myself. And that's the truth, one way or another.
This is a really big case, and a lot of people have a lot of questions surrounding this. Is there any other message that you want to send to anyone?
Well, if you don't have tips for sure, because over 370 some tips have been called in and they've just not panned out. Like, I appreciate people trying to help, but like, also that's wasting like TBI's time because they have to check out every single lead that's called in.
Obviously it's been a long time since you've seen her. Are you worried about that? About reuniting with her?
No, because I love her. I know she loves me.
And do you think she's been taken care of well in the time that you've missed with her?
I hope she has been.
Tell me what the first things you want to do.
But do you
I'm
think
just
she
going to hug her
knows?
and not let her go.
Wow. Does she know that
Like,
her daughter's dead right now?
absolutely.
So is she the
100%
one who
she
killed
knows.
the baby? Or did grandma kill the baby?
The grandma had nothing to do. I don't think the grandma had anything to do with the death of the baby. I'm not sure.
I'll have to.
They don't know, and they won't know until the trial, which I'm so intrigued
So
by.
who's on trial,
Because
grandma or mom?
Mom, this one, Megan.
Okay.
Okay. So after this, not long, hey, my crazy life, not long after this interview here, they find the baby.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. They find the baby, which Vinny will probably, hopefully explain it. Hey, Rosebud. I do too now, Snowline. And Wendy taught me that. I didn't use that all the way up until Wendy's like, just do it.
What are you talking about? Use what?
Face recognition.
Oh yes, heck yeah.
So, and I'm like I said, Vinny will probably tell how long it was. But it wasn't long after this. They find the baby on the property, stuffed in a garbage bag.
Gosh.
So
it was on the property the whole damn time.
The whole time in her old playhouse, toys in there, from even like old toys from when she was a kid. And they think the cause of death is suffocation. Okay, here's what she says. She says, okay, here's what happened. We were co-sleeping, me, her, my boyfriend. My boyfriend rolled over on her and killed her. Rolled over on her and suffocated her. And that's how she died.
Yeah. And so why didn't you just call the hospital like any normal mom would do?
Right. But of course, we panicked and this and that. But she's found she has aluminum foil in her mouth.
Oh dear. Why?
They think that's what suffocated her. And that's how she was suffocated.
Poor baby.
Yeah.
Horrible.
So it just makes me despise her. 15 months old from Sullivan County, Tennessee. She was found unalive in a playhouse, 2020. Yeah, jury selection starts the 3rd. So if I hop 2,
Yeah.
I don't know where your grandma. Maybe Vinny will know. We'll see what he says, because what I watched last night, because I was just in shock because her mom was in court on a completely different related case a
Yeah.
few times. Like this family, it's
Yeah.
but they do think like the whole family knew something. I'm gonna go on a limb. This I don't think the dad knew the baby was gone. I just think the dad, and I'm talking about her grandpa,
Yeah.
knew the baby was missing. Didn't understand why. That mama knew something though. The grandma to the baby. I think she knew
Yeah.
something, and I think this idiot here, she thought, mom's in trouble all the way. I mean, all the time. Um, she'll she'll take the blame, or they'll believe me because my mom is a criminal and on drugs. So
Jesus.
yeah. Can you? I can't. So
You
here
can't
we
what?
go.
Oh.
I can't believe it. I can't believe that
Yeah, no.
somebody would.
It's horrible.
And here's our buddy.
We love Vinny.
Do what?
I said we love Vinny.
We do love Vinny. I got that so loud in my ears, though. Let me turn that down a little. Oh, let me put on the closed captions. I should have done that before.
I'm Vinnie Politan. The subject of my investigation is the murder of baby Evelyn. She was just 15 months when she went missing, but it took another month and a half for someone to call police. This story beyond tragic. Here's more.
I just want her back. That's all I want. I've been so long without her.
That's 18-year-old Megan Boswell in February of 2020 talking about her missing toddler, Evelyn.
Evelyn. Hi.
Trigger warning, y'all.
15-month-old Evelyn was reported missing in February, even though she was last seen months before.
And I know a lot of people are like, oh, why didn't you report it missing earlier? Because my mom threatened me and I just want her back.
Boswell told police her mother had taken Evelyn.
We've been looking for baby Evelyn since last Tuesday. We've been working 24/7 nonstop. We've received a number of conflicting, inaccurate statements from the mother, Megan Boswell, Evelyn's mother.
When Evelyn wasn't with Megan's mother or her own father, the investigation revealed Megan was lying.
As a result, she has been charged with false reporting.
Megan was arrested and taken into custody. 10 days later, 2 months after Evelyn was last seen, Megan's father called police and suggested they search his property.
During the search, investigators discovered human remains believed to be those of a 15-month-old girl.
Megan was charged with premeditated murder, child abuse, child neglect, abuse of a corpse, tampering with evidence, and 12 counts of lying to police.
I think at the time she was not charged with premeditated murder.
They filed a notice to seek a sentence of imprisonment for life without the possibility of parole.
Court testimony revealed Evelyn was found in Megan's old playhouse behind a shed, tightly wound in a fleece blanket, wrapped in aluminum foil, then a trash bag, and shoved head first while alive into a trash can. The
I didn't know
medical
that.
examiner said her death was intentional.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh my gosh, that is so sad. Oh, that is horrible.
Oh my gosh. I had no idea. I thought guess I didn't research it enough.
What the medical
Oh
examiner
my gosh.
said, She was alive when she was wrapped, placed upside down in that trash bin in the playhouse on the property, discarded while she was still alive. Now, when this story happened, we began covering it as a missing child. And we're wondering, where is baby Evelyn? And Megan had spoken out and had said some things and had a story about what happened. And that brings us to the first question in our investigation. Does Megan's story make sense? Didn't make sense to investigators. They charged her with lying. That's how they first arrested her. And they've also said that her story has vacillated and changed. Seen this before. And sometimes people who do lie like that don't get convicted. Joining me to help us through all this, clinical and forensic neuropsychologist, author of the book, The New Rules of Attachment, Dr. Judy Ho is with us. Also joining us, body language expert and author of the New York Times bestselling book, You Can't Lie to Me, Janine Driver. Great to see you both. Let's start here. I'm going to play for you Megan Boswell's interview with WJHL. We've got, not a lot of it, but we've got enough of it to have an idea of what her story is and what she's saying and how she's saying it. I want you both to watch it carefully and then give me, from your perspectives, your analysis of what we heard initially from Megan Boswell. Let's take a look.
We went to go out to eat, and then my mom came and got her. She was wearing a little hot pink tracksuit with a matching bow, little matching shoes, a little bit before Christmas. I was trying to protect my mom, maybe in hopes, she'd just tell them where Evelyn was, but obviously she's not going to. I've told TBI where to find her in Mendota. My mom took her to a campground.
I bet they mentioned the eyebrows. I've been studying up on my body language.
And a silver camper, and if they don't go tonight, I'm going to go find her myself.
When did you know that something was wrong?
Just when she left and took off, and just to answer her phone, or the person that
Why wouldn't you
is
already
in Mendota
know,
has
though?
had her the whole
I don't
time.
understand that.
I can't even believe
Like,
how this
why
child
wouldn't you?
died.
You said you know where she is. She's in Mendoza. Why aren't you already there then? You're
Right,
lying.
because she did know where she was.
Exactly. And she wasn't
Very
in Mendoza.
specific story. Janine Driver, I know the clips are quick, but you're quick too in picking things up. What did you see here, Janine?
First of all, nice to see you, Dr. Judy. I love you, sister. And nice to see you, Vinnie. All right. First of all, she does some mouth stretching here, Vinnie and Dr. Judy, and you at home. Is her mouth pulls into the side a little bit. It's called mouth stretching. And this is done with suppressing of information and internal conflict. And also when someone made a mistake, think about it. You're going to do a keynote presentation, Vinnie, or you're at CrimeCon, and you forgot your cord to charge your computer. You go, forgot the cord. It's connected with fear. So we have that. Now let's get out of body language really quick, because the biggest thing here that tell that there's more to the story is the word obviously. Obviously is trying to sell us a bill of goods. It's saying it's self-evident, it's undeniable. When people say obviously, truthful people convey, liars are trying to convince us. Why? To avoid deeper scrutiny. I got my list here really quick, Vinnie, and you at home and you, Dr. Judy. Elizabeth Holmes, obviously the technology is accurate and reliable. Roger Goodell lying about the Ray Rice sucker punch of his fiance. Obviously, we have a very firm policy on domestic violence. Lance Armstrong, obviously I've never tested positive for performance-enhancing drugs. Bill Clinton, obviously the relationship was completely professional. So we hear this with a lot of killers, a lot of people who are withholding information, whether it has to do with the political world, sports world. You're holding something back, obviously, is a huge hotspot.
Okay, Dr. Judy Ho, she was a teen mom, and then her child disappeared. She was still a teenager. She's young. She appears a little bit younger than she actually was, Megan Boswell, but obviously a very young mom. The father of the child is not around. He was in the military and was stationed elsewhere around this time. What are you hearing and what are you seeing from Megan Boswell?
Well, Janine made some great observations, and I will just add that Megan does, as you just mentioned, Vinnie, act and behave younger than her chronological age. Sometimes in this interview, her emotions just seem like they're not totally matching to the context, the situation. We look for that a lot as psychologists. We look at whether or not someone's affect, their displayed emotion matches the situation, matches what they're talking about, the situation that they're in. And it just seems like her emotions, as you're even playing these clips as I'm speaking, they are vacillating a lot. And sometimes they may not be matching exactly what you think it should be displayed at when somebody has a specific topic that they're talking about. In this case, missing child. What's your emotional reaction to that?
Absolutely. Let's do this. There's a timeline because her story seems to change a little bit as well. February 18th, 2020, Evelyn Boswell reported missing, not seen since December of 2019. That's a problem, right? Megan tells investigators Evelyn is with her father, Ethan Perry. That's the young man who's in the military. February 19th, the next day, TBI issues an Amber Alert. February 21st, Megan tells reporters with WCYB she left Evelyn with someone while she went to work. 3 days later, Megan tells WJHL her mother left Evelyn with someone at a campground in Mendota. A campground. The next day, Megan tells investigators Evelyn is dead. She says she or her boyfriend rolled over her while sleeping. Megan's charged with false reporting and taken into custody.
All right,
March 6th, Evelyn's remains are finally discovered on the.
So she
Okay,
confessed
so
that she confessed that she was already passed away before they found her body.
I guess so. I thought they found the body first, but maybe she finally told them where to find the body.
Oh, well, they
So
said that
her
the
or
father
her
is
boyfriend.
the one. The father is the one that told them to go look on the property. So I wonder if she confessed it to the dad.
I can't.
I don't know.
The family property.
No, I think when they said how she passed, it kind of shook me, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Creek Road. August 19th, she's indicted on 19 counts, including 2 counts of felony murder. And then in June of 2024, she's charged with first-degree premeditated murder. Janine Driver, when there's different stories at different times and seemingly changing from day to day, that's a problem. That's a problem. And I guess what the jury will have to figure out and what prosecutors have to surmise is which one is the truth. If you have someone who's giving different stories and you're looking at their body language, if they're all recorded, are there things that you can find? Can you tell when someone is switching from a lie to the truth or from a lie to a truth to the lie?
Sometimes yes, and sometimes no. First of all, we're looking for, and I love what Dr. Judy was talking about, is like this affect. If you're telling me you're sad and you're scared, I'm looking for sadness and fear in your face, a micro expression at least. What we saw here, even in that last clip you showed us, was laughing. That's called duping delight. It's like I got away with something. There was a guy, I don't know if you remember, you at home or you, Vinnie, Neil Entwistle out of Massachusetts.
Yes.
He killed his young daughter and he was laughing in court. I remember Court TV way back in the day called me on that. And while they were showing the onesie covered in blood as evidence, he's laughing. Duping delight is I'm getting away with something. So in that last clip, we've got this affect that's out of place with what she's talking about. And that smile right there. Susan Smith did that, remember back in 1994, when she killed her 2 young sons and put them in a car and drowned them. So with regard to looking at affect with the whatever story she's telling me in that moment, I'm looking, does her body language and do her word choices, are they congruent with what she's saying? That's number 1. Number 2, when we lie, we'll do things like we'll touch our eye. When we touch our eye, it tickles our brain and relaxes us. So when there's an increase in stress, increase in face touches happen. Sighing happens. We sigh, the average person sighs 5 times to 10 times in an hour, the average person. But when we start to lie and tell a story, you can even see this on Tonight Show when Jimmy Fallon would do a game where you have to pull an object out of a box and either tell the truth or lie. Google that and look at John Cena and you'll hear just before he makes up his lie describing something, he goes, And Jimmy busts him. He's like, dude, that's your lie. So when there's a sigh going on, it means there's more to the story going on. So there are a lot of different tells we're looking for and listening for. And I think the jury's going to get this right because she's all over the place.
Absolutely. All right, Dr. Judy Ho is going to stay with us. Big thank you to Janine Driver. Coming up next, why did it take so long to report Evelyn missing?
That's a very good question, Vinnie.
This case is unlike anything I've ever been involved in. We've had a child that's not been seen by.
I mean, we could go back to the Casey Anthony case where they did the same thing, but all these people lived on the same property. Remember that? But she was telling her parents that she was with Zanny.
The parents or certain family members in almost 2 months.
I was just commentating.
No.
Being widow or
need to be more. Sorry.
Mastermind behind her murder.
Monica Cimentelli is accused of plotting to kill her husband.
Famed celebrity hairstylist Fabio Cimentelli.
Prosecutors say she and her lover killed Fabio to collect a big life insurance policy.
The defense may say she's a bad woman, but she wouldn't be involved in a murder.
It's a whodunit Hollywood story, but will there be a twist that no one sees?
The Celebrity Stylist Murder Trial, weekday mornings, only on Court TV. For one now.
I always have concerns about trafficking and any type of offense, across state lines and selling. And I always think of the worst, but we just got to hope and pray little Evelyn's okay and we can get her back as soon as possible. This case is unlike anything I've ever been involved in. We've had a child that's not been seen by the parents or certain family members in almost 2 months.
Think about that last statement by the sheriff for just a second. Let it sink in. 15-month-old, right? A 15-month-old. When you have a family and there's a 15-month-old in the family, that baby, that child, that little girl is the star of the show.
Yeah.
She is the center of the universe for a family. And this child is missing for almost 2 months, and no one's like, hey, where's the baby? Where's little Evelyn? I want to give her a hug. Like, what's going on here? What is going on here? Here's the original Amber Alert, and this is when we first started covering this story. As soon as we saw this, Evelyn has blonde hair, blue eyes, stands 2 feet tall, weighs 28 pounds, was last seen wearing a pink track suit, pink shoes, and a pink bow.
Oh my goodness.
She was entered as a missing child on Tuesday, February 18th, 2020, but was reportedly last seen on December 26th, the day after Christmas, 2019. Brings us to the next question in our investigation. This is an important one. This is the one that got everyone so riled up. Why did it take so long to report Evelyn missing?
Yes, great question.
Right? Well, if someone's responsible for her death, I can understand that, right? But this is a beautiful little girl. Where is everybody? Still with us, neuropsychologist Dr. Judy Ho. And joining us, reporter and anchor for WCYB. She has covered this story and this case since the beginning. Kristen Kwan is with us. All right, Kristen, let me begin with you. Like, what is going on? Like, there's a family here, right? I mean, there's a father, I believe he's in the military, but there's family members around, uncle, grandma, grandpa, I don't know who else is in her life. What was going on here for almost 2 months?
Yeah, so you can imagine this case, when this all happened, we were tracking down every person that might have come in contact with Megan just to find out that exact question. What exactly happened to Evelyn and who knows where she is? So we were trying to talk to everyone, her mom, her dad, grandma, grandpa, just to see what kind of answers we could find. When we spoke with Megan, she told us that the reason that she didn't report her missing for so long was because she knew who had her. And she was afraid that if she went and told that person, "Oh, give me back my baby," they would vanish with her forever.
Dr. Judy Ho sounding a lot like Zanny the nanny from a case I covered many years ago down in Florida. Kelly Marie Anthony went missing. That was 31 days. And then finally, Grandma and Grandpa put their foot down and said, that's it. Where is Kaylee? And when Casey couldn't answer the question, they called. It seems like something similar happened here because it was Grandpa who ends up calling. It wasn't Megan. This what's the psychology here to just like people aren't going to notice that a 15-month-old beautiful child is missing?
Right, and some of what we don't know is what were the conversations in between these 2 months between Megan, the parents? Did they talk? Did she make up stories in between and say, oh yeah, she's just playing in the backyard, so you can't see or talk to her now? I don't know how many times they may have attempted to check on her and how many times Megan may have said things that sounded reassuring, at least on the phone, that seemed like plausible things that could essentially explain why Megan wasn't able to bring her child to the phone so that the grandparents could actually hear her voice. But I'm glad that eventually the grandparents called. Unfortunately, it took 2 months. And then when Megan was interviewed on the other side, she had this story that didn't really make sense, that she knew who had her child. So that's enough for you as a mother? Like, that's enough? What about everything else? How often are you talking to your own child if that was even a true story? And this, I think, is an indication of how young she is, in terms of her mental age. Like, she's essentially a child herself trying to make up a story. She knows that she's in trouble and she's trying to get out of it. And it's a very juvenile story.
Yep. Younger than Casey Anthony. I think the lies are a little less sophisticated. Casey was very quick on her feet. She could lie super fast. Kristen, what do we know about the living arrangements here for everyone? I understand there's some sort of a family compound that has homes and structures on it where some people are living. Megan, Evelyn, what was their situation? Who else was around?
Yeah, so it kind of seems like Megan kind of bounced around places, but the family compound that you're talking about would be her father's place. So he owns a company in Sullivan County, and he has a house, and then he also has, multiple places where he keeps equipment and things like that. So it's a fairly, I would say a rather large compound. Where he has multiple structures on that compound, including sheds and things of that nature. And then her mother lives, in a separate place, and had a boyfriend at the time. And so it was kind of hectic when we were covering this, because like I said, we were trying to track down anyone that might know Megan or know Evelyn. And so we were kind of running all over the county to try to figure out where she was staying at the time.
Yeah, Dr. Judy Ho, it does seem there was some level of chaos in the home. Now, as you mentioned, Evelyn is young. Now, we just saw, video of mom. She's wearing orange for a reason because she has run-ins with the law all the time. Police had been to the compound. There were issues there. So there was some level of chaos in the family. So from your perspective, how does all that play into everything that happened here? The chaos that Evelyn may have been subjected to as she's growing up and now trying to raise a child within that chaos that sort of continued.
Well, chaos is unfortunately a huge deterrent to healthy development for babies and for toddlers because they need consistency and patterns to be able to thrive. So not being able to really understand what's going on and not seeing patterns around her, I'm sure that was very difficult for Evelyn in her early years for the times that she lived. And I think even for the mom, the fact that she had all of this chaos around her, she's trying to figure it out. It kind of feels like she's trying to run from one crisis to the other. And it's a very, very sad story. It's a very tragic story because essentially, I think this was going to end up in some kind of disaster. This is actually the worst disaster it could have ended up in, but it could have ended up in CPS at some point. There could have been child protective services involved at an earlier stage. And in some ways, I wish that they were involved in an earlier stage because maybe this death would have been prevented. But I think that eventually she was going to run into trouble with Child Protective Services or the police or some type of major consequence. And Evelyn probably would not have ended up in her care anyway.
Yeah. And we're looking at these videos. I think some of these videos were actually shot by Evelyn. Not by Evelyn, by Megan, Evelyn's mom, of these cute little videos. And that's the part that shocks you. How can anyone even consider bringing harm
What if Megan didn't do it actually,
to a child, to that child?
Well, I mean, I guess that's what we're going to find out.
To your own child.
Yeah.
Dr. Judy Ho, thank you so much for all your insight and help. Kristen Kwan from WCYB is going to stick around.
If she didn't do it, she's better got some fingers pointing somewhere then. Because obviously she's been lying this whole time, so she better know something.
Yeah, I haven't heard any other kind of defense at all yet.
Right.
Around, we have more questions for her. Up next, I just mentioned Casey Anthony, didn't I? Is the case against Megan stronger than the case against Casey?
Golly, I hope so.
That case still makes me cry, man. Jeez.
Do what?
I said that case still makes me cry. Like,
what'd you say?
I said that case still. Can you not hear me?
Yeah, I said, yeah, me too.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah. Son.
Yeah. I would hate to think we'd have another Casey Anthony. Hey. So loud.
I'm Vinnie Politan. We continue our investigation of the murder of baby Evelyn. Her mom was just a teenager when Evelyn was born and was still a teenager when her daughter was killed. And prosecutors want that teenage mom to spend the rest of her life behind bars. Here's the story. Little baby Evelyn lived with her single teenage mom, Megan Boswell, in Sullivan County, Tennessee. She was being raised with the help of her grandparents on the family compound. But in February of 2020, Evelyn was reported missing by her grandpa. Her mom cried on TV looking for her baby, then was arrested for misleading police. Things then changed dramatically in the case when Evelyn was found dead on the family compound. And now Megan has been charged with first-degree premeditated murder. When we first started covering the story, you know the first thing I was thinking about, that woman from Central Florida. I'm going to use her name. I have been using her name during this program, Casey Anthony. Because of this, the initial similarity is so striking that a small child is gone and nobody says anything. In the case of Casey Anthony, it was 31 days before that 911 call was made by Cindy and George after Casey could not answer the question, where is Kaylee? And that brings me back to what happened in that case. If you'll recall, the verdict shocked me a little bit. Those of you who were watching me that day probably didn't recognize me. I didn't recognize myself. I'd never been so floored because I was there day in and day out. The evidence. Who lies about their child? If your child is missing, who does nothing? Who would let their child just rot somewhere?
Right.
And that was basically the defense. And then you know how it turned out. I'm going to close my eyes for a second, but I'll remind you.
As to the charge of first-degree murder, verdict as to count 1, we, the jury, find the defendant not guilty, so say we all, dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, on this 5th day of July, 2011, signed foreperson. As to the charge of aggravated child abuse, verdict as to count 2, we, the jury, find the defendant not guilty, so say we all, dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, this 5th day of July, 2011, signed foreperson. As to the charge of aggravated manslaughter of a child, verdict is to count 3. We, the jury, find the defendant not guilty. So say we all, dated at Orlando, Orange County, Florida, this 5th day of July, 2011, signed foreperson. As to the charge of providing false information to a law enforcement officer, verdict as to count 4. We, the jury, find the defendant guilty of providing false information to a law enforcement officer as charged in the indictment. So say we all, dated Orlando, Orange County, Florida, this 5th day of July, 2011, signed foreperson.
Is it over?
Yeah.
It's over. Okay. Thank you. They told me it's over. She lied again. And many of us believe that was sort of like the foundation of a strong case. What mother is going to lie about that? This is the most important thing in your world, in your life. The child, your child. So after that verdict, some reflection and trying to figure out what happened. And I just have looked at every case differently since that point forward in my career. And then another level of skepticism about the strength of evidence. And that brings us to the next question in our investigation. Is the case against Megan stronger than the case against Casey? Because I know how that one turned out. Is the case against Megan for the murder of little Evelyn stronger than the case?
That's got me a little worried because they said everybody pitched in on the compound.
Against Casey that was unsuccessful for the murder of Kaylee Marie. Okay, I need some help. Oh, we're bringing in the heavy hitters. Joining me, former chief judge in Florida. You recognize him, folks. He presided over the Casey Anthony murder trial, America's judge, Belvin Perry, and criminal defense and family law attorney in Western Tennessee, Courtney Simmons is with us. Great to have you both here. Let me start with the lies. Judge, I thought the lies were the foundation against Casey. Are the lies more incriminating in this case? Do you think they'll carry more weight?
The answer to that, Vinnie, is yes. She lied at least 4 times. When you take the lies and apply those to the death, in this particular case, you have a cause of death, a fixation. You have someone that puts someone in a trash can, suffocates them by the use of a blanket and aluminum foil, which the medical examiner will more than likely elaborate on the details surrounding how that child died and how that child suffered. So you have lies plus concrete evidence dealing with the cause of death.
You bring up a great point, Judge, and I want to put this up on the screen. This is from TBI, Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, Special Agent David Gratz. We found the remains inside of a building that was referred to by the family as the Playhouse. It was out behind what I would call a storage building on the property, and what I would call a storage building, and the Playhouse was built by the defendant's, Megan's grandfather, as a playhouse for her when she was a child. So the playhouse that it was Megan's playhouse where Evelyn was found. And it was Megan's grandpa who had built that on the family property. And Judge, what's significant to me about that is, one, comparing this to the Casey Anthony case, is that when Kaylee Marie, by the time that police finally found her, after Roy Kronk calls a second time months later about finding the remains of baby Evelyn are in much better shape and tell more of a story than little Kaylee's remains told.
Absolutely. The autopsy tells us a lot about how she died, about how she suffered. And as I previously stated, those factors were missing in the Anthony case. It was dry bones. There was nothing for the medical examiner to say except that she died by unnatural causes.
Right. So here, it's a stronger case for murder because of the remains. Then you look at where she was found, to draw that nexus that you would get rid of a body in a place that was your place. Like, this was her place on the property. This was Megan's playhouse. It had nothing to do really with anyone else in the family. So that's another connection versus where Kaylee was found, which was close to the house, not on the property, but in a random place in the woods, just off the road, around the corner from the house.
But remember, Vinnie, there was evidence presented where a dog found the smell of death near the playhouse in the backyard of the Anthony's residence, and there was a shovel that was found where it looks like she attempted to bury her by the playhouse in the backyard.
Wow. Another similarity between these two. There are so many. The delay in reporting. Now, I want to put this up on the screen again. This is from this TBI special agent. This is an alleged somewhat of an admission, but not really. She did say she was aware that Evelyn was dead. However, she told the story that it resulted from either her or Hunter Wood rolling over the child while sleeping. That was her boyfriend, but she did not know the location of Evelyn's body. This now sounds almost exactly like Casey's defense. Accidental death, and I don't know what happened to the body afterwards. And, the jury didn't convict Casey, even though she knew that her daughter was dead and moved on with her life, but claimed she didn't know where the baby was, much like Casey's defense argued inside that courtroom.
I would be shocked and amazed if this jury, somewhere in the recesses of their mind, would think of the Casey Anthony case.
Same.
And there, more than likely, is going to be a different result.
So what you're telling me, Judge, and you have presided over these cases, you have tried these cases for so many years, that the case against Megan strikes you on its face as being stronger than the case against Casey Anthony.
While the Anthony case was strong, this case is significantly stronger. These jurors are not going to leave their common sense on the courthouse doorstep when they enter.
And what do you think are the potential problems or pitfalls or traps that the prosecution can fall into here? If you were going to advise the prosecution in this case, what would you say to them going into this?
Well, number one, they're going to need to try to explain the conduct of this young lady during the time of missing. They're going to also have to debunk the finger pointing that she did towards the father, towards this mythical neighbor, towards her mother. So in other words, tear down all possible defenses that they may put up. And she's going to also more than likely point the finger at someone else. But, you have the legion of lies, and they're going to have to point out she can't be believed. The defense can't be believed. That the evidence is strong in this case, and the evidence is unrefuted. All right, the judge is going to stay with us. We had some technical difficulties with Courtney. Sorry for that. We'll get her back on another day. Still to come, as the judge is saying, is Megan going to point the finger at her family?
I was trying to protect my mom, maybe in hopes, she'd just tell them where Evelyn was, but obviously she's not going to.
Childhood friendship that turned into a feud and ended with shots fired.
Now, famous rapper and Rihanna's significant other
faces felony assault charges.
The trial of A$AP Rocky. Weekday mornings, only on Court TV. This week,
a Florida teen, a famous rapper, and a Hollywood wife all facing justice. We're breaking down what to expect each day in our biggest trials.
Opening statements with Julie Grant. Mornings at 8, 7 Central on Court TV.
This evening, we received information that led TBI agents and Sullivan County detectives to a property belonging to a family member of Evelyn's mother in the 500 block of Muddy Creek Road in Blumpville. During the search, investigators discovered human remains believed to be those of a 15-month-old girl. The remains will be sent for an autopsy and a positive identification. At this time, the investigation is in the very early stages. There's a lot of work left to be done, and right now, this is the extent of what we can provide today.
You could tell from just listening to the sheriff how difficult this was for him. And that, I mean, this is their job. This is what they sign up to do. But these cases are tough. You're looking for a child. You want to find the child. And they found a body instead. So it's on family property. So I want to take a moment just to go through some of the people in Evelyn's family, people who are in the life of this 15-month-old child. Evelyn, obviously 15 months old, 2 feet, 28 pounds, beautiful blonde hair, blue eyes. Megan is the teenage mother of Evelyn. Okay, she's the one who's been charged with first-degree premeditated murder. Ethan Perry is Evelyn's dad. Megan originally said that Ethan had Evelyn, but it was determined that he was stationed in Louisiana on active duty, so he was eliminated as any suspect. Tommy Boswell Sr., this is Evelyn's grandpa, Megan's father, reports Evelyn missing. He's the one who picked up the phone in February, tells police he hasn't seen her since December of 2019, has a history of domestic violence incidents with Angela Boswell, owns the family compound where he and his son operate a business, and Evelyn's remains were found there. Angela Boswell is Evelyn's mom. Evelyn's grandma, Megan's mom, lengthy criminal record, was arrested with her boyfriend on charges of theft over $2,500 after the vehicle they were driving in was reported stolen. That boyfriend is William McLeod. This is Angela Boswell's boyfriend, arrested in Tennessee, being accused of fleeing town in a stolen car with Angela, lengthy criminal record. And all of this was a big part of the story because originally Megan was saying that her mom had Evelyn. Okay, all of this brings us to the next question in our investigation about this upcoming trial. Is Megan going to point the finger at her family? A lot of people here, some of them have some sort of history, but obviously they are part of her family and in the life of little Evelyn. Still with us, former chief judge in Florida, the Honorable Belvin Perry. And joining us, reporter and anchor for WCYB. She's covered the case since the beginning, Kristen Kwan. Kristen, how would you describe the family dynamics here?
Absolutely chaotic. You know, when we first started covering this, like I said, we were going all over the place trying to track down whoever we could that would potentially talk to us about when the last time they saw Evelyn. And it was hard to find some of the family members. Some of the family members didn't want to talk to us, but it was definitely chaotic. I think I remember William McLeod yelling at us to get away from him. So the whole time that we were covering this, it was just kind of a tumultuous experience for sure.
I want to read this, Judge. This is from the Knoxville News Sentinel, giving us some background on this family. Angela Boswell was just 16 when she gave birth to Tommy Boswell Sr.'s first son, Tommy Jr., in '93. In March of 2001, Angela gave birth to the couple's second child, Megan Boswell, Evelyn's mother. Angela married Tommy Boswell a few months later. By 2009, the couple was back in Sullivan County, settling with the kids in a manufactured home on a plot of land on Muddy Creek Road, but little harmony inside of those walls, court records show. In March of that year, Tommy Boswell Sr. told deputies his wife attacked him, stabbing his neck with an ink pen and struggling with their then 14-year-old son, Tommy Jr., as he tried to rescue his dad. So, Judge, I think the family that Megan is in and that Evelyn is in is a little different than the Anthonys. I mean, George Anthony's a former police officer. Yeah, they had their issues. I think they're all connected to Casey. But this family has had issues with law enforcement. Does that make it easier for Megan to point the finger at someone in her family?
Absolutely, Vinny. She's going to point the finger at her father, Tommy Boswell. He has a long history of domestic violence. She's going to also point the finger at her mother and her mother's paramour. So remember, Casey pointed the finger at George and her brother, talking about they had both sexually assaulted her. So they're going to muddy the waters up as much as possible. And we should not forget, there is an ongoing feud between the defense attorney and the defendant, Megan, about what witnesses to use. She almost tried to get him thrown off the case. So it's going to be finger pointing at its utmost, because other than that, what defense does she have?
Exactly. So, Kristen, this is a long time coming. We're going back to 2020 for all of this, and it's now 2025. Do we have a better idea now from things that have happened as to specifically what the defense may be doing at trial?
Yeah, so, we've also been covering every single court appearance that she's had since this all happened. So it's been years now. I think I've attended pretty much every one of them, but maybe two. So there's definitely things that they're throwing out there. The defense at first wanted to try to get a change of venue, all kinds of different things. But I do think that they will be looking at the family members for sure. Just because Megan has mentioned her mother before, that her mother was supposed to babysit Evelyn. So I think that the fingers could definitely be pointed towards Angela, but I also wouldn't rule out the boyfriend as well, Hunter, who she said, may have rolled on top of Evelyn. So I could see him being brought into all of this as well.
Wow, a lot at play here. All right, Judge, before we run out of time here, Casey Anthony obviously did not take the witness stand. Do you think Evelyn's mom, Megan, I keep mixing up the names here, Evelyn's mother, Megan, do you think she takes the stand?
Absolutely not. It would be suicidal for her to take the stand and be subject to cross-examination. The prosecutor will have a field day with her.
And Kristen, we have about 15 seconds here. How does she look these days? How much older does she appear? Because she looks so young when little Evelyn went missing.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely looks, I think, older. Of course, it's been a number of years now. Her hair is definitely longer than it was. I don't think it doesn't look like she's had it cut since she's been in jail. But, it's been a long time in the Sullivan County Jail. So it'll be interesting to see, how she looks come trial day.
Absolutely. Kristen Kwan, WCYB, thank you so much. Judge Belvin Perry, always an honor to have your honor with us. Every defendant has some type of defense. It happens in every trial. Even if they've lied or changed their story, they always have a defense. Many times they look for a villain to point the finger at during the trial. And sometimes that works. We'll see what happens in this case. Let's just hope baby Evelyn gets more justice than Kaylee Marie Anthony got years ago.
All right. What says y'all?
Well, I mean, obviously, she screams guilty to me. I too feel like this is like the Casey Anthony case, which scares me to death. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. But they seem to have better evidence this time. Like they can at least get a cause of death, and that helps them paint the picture better. Maybe there's a chance that this won't go the same way that it did in Casey's case.
Well, and we have the fact that she made up a story about how the baby died.
Well, but I feel I thought Casey did that too. No, didn't she do that?
No.
Didn't she do something similar?
No.
She dragged them to where she worked and stuff, and then admitted that she didn't work there.
Yeah, but no, she never admitted.
So many lies.
She never admitted to knowing that Kaylee was gone.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Well, so yeah, I mean, all the lies that that they have her in. You know, I don't know how she gets out of any of that. I don't think she will be able to.
Oh, maybe DNA on the aluminum foil.
Right. Like that, like there's more things that they can test in this case. Like before, right? Didn't they have like almost nothing that they could even test?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
said dry bones. Oh, so sad. So
I
sad.
can't. Yeah. I honestly, when she lied, but she never said she knew Kaylee was dead. Oh,
Gotcha. Yeah.
yeah.
Is
Well,
there
now
anything,
she's saying,
anything more on this case, or is that it that for tonight?
well, I mean, that could be it for tonight. I don't know. Wait, I mean, there's
Is there any body
so
cam
much.
footage? Any kind of more stories that she told?
Let's see. I would love to hear an interrogation, but I couldn't find one a while ago. Let me
Yeah.
look again. Here's where. No.
Wow.
I mean, there's other stuff on her, but it's
And when does this trial start?
this trial start. They start the jury the 3rd.
Okay. Ooh.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a great one to cover.
I think it will too. I've been over here looking up, you know, I'll lose money, but no. I don't have to be at every trial.
No, of
I
course
don't
not.
know.
You don't have to be at every trial, but
This would be a good one. They're
this, I
close to
know
my house.
I know you'd like to go. Yeah.
I found a camper I could stay in.
Oh my gosh.
She went missing out of a trailer. It was huge for a second, then she was forgotten. Which one? What one mod? The little girl
This
went
sounds
missing
like this
around the-
baby.
Oh no. Yeah, it does kind of, but
Oh, she's not talking. She's talking about a different case.
yeah.
It's sad because they're not forgotten. It's just sadly crime doesn't stop. There's always a new crime that just happened, and they're always terrible.
I
So
do
hard.
have the bug. Are you gonna watch it, Lucy? Good, good. It's gonna be a good one, and it's gonna be. I think it's gonna have twists and turns because I think there's gonna be a lot more people who know, and I wonder who's gonna get on the stand and spill their guts. From the looks of the family, none of them.
Well,
Except
somebody
the
better be willing to say something if they want any chance of not being in jail the rest of their lives. Like I would assume that they would have offered somebody something by now.
and she, I don't know. Did y'all hear the part of the interview, or was this a different one? She's like, and just let me tell y'all, gypsies aren't bad, so they consider themselves gypsies.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. Gypsies are great. I don't have a problem with gypsies either until if they're not, hurting their children.
Yeah. Well, I was talking not too long ago about being a gypsy van lifer, but
Yes, that cracked me up. I remember that. You were like acting like it's been a lifelong dream, and I'm like, when did you make up that dream?
At the van last week.
Last week. Yes, I've always wanted to be a gypsy. You said something like that. I'm like, what? Since when?
No, Randy had dreams and aspirations of.
I had no idea. You'd think you'd have mentioned it, but no.
Well, thank you, Lucy J. Thank you. Y'all share this out. Maybe we'll get some more people that are interested.
Yeah, I know it's definitely
Hey, Carrie.
These are sad stories, so I get
It's sad. Laugh. You got to laugh, or you'll break down for sure.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'll talk
Yeah,
this
yeah,
over with
that
Jim.
will.
I'll talk it over with Jim. I mean, I think this would be a lot.
I don't mean to go to this one and Stefan though.
No, I wouldn't do. I couldn't do this and then go to a child or case.
Right.
No.
You can go to his murder trial, though.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. I might be
Yes.
better anyway. Like, if I had to pick only one for you to go to, I'd pick that one anyway.
Yeah.
I know this one is sooner, but
I have to say I'm gonna lose because I did put down. Already have put. It's okay though. That's my fault. That's my fault.
You're gonna lose what? What are you talking about?
Because I already booked a place, for
Oh,
the Stearns
yes.
trial. But
You're
I didn't pay
not
all of it. I paid half. I can cancel,
Yeah.
and I will lose that money, and that's fine. That's my fault. I think this one would be closer. Even if I wanted to come home on the weekend, it'd be a long drive, but I could do it.
Absolutely. Yes.
So if you have any extra money and you want to put it in my PayPal, please do. And that will help me convince my husband also. Trust me.
I love
And
that he's supportive though of this. It's really sweet of him.
yeah, he's probably going to be a little bit less of spur of the moment. But I just found out about it last night and
Right.
had completely forgotten about it. I
Yeah.
mean, because it's been so long.
Well,
And
and he hadn't made any kind of a plan for you to go to this, like
yeah, no.
it kind of just happened.
Yeah, it just happened. I wish I wish I knew more about when things were coming up.
Yeah. The
But,
only way we know is Court TV. So there's got to be a better source out there somewhere.
yeah. Well, I know this because Amy, she's like, "Hey, are you going to watch this case?" Because Amy's from Tennessee, I'm from Tennessee, and
Mm-hmm.
people, have been waiting for this case, and I was like, "When is it? What?"
Yeah.
So this will be a definite discussion,
Yes.
and I mean, it's not undoable. It's I do have to have tires or a lineup or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
but it'll work out like it's supposed to.
Absolutely.
Hey, Mercedes girl, I think I am a little worried about the Casey Anthony thing, like you said. So
Yes. I mean, and how can we not be? Like I feel like the whole country was in shock when that verdict came the way that it did. Like nobody
yeah,
saw that coming. I don't even think Casey saw that coming. She's like,
no, I
"Holy
don't think
shit,
she
I
did
got away
either.
with this?"
But she had this slick smile, like,
Yeah. She seemed a little shocked almost though, a little like, "Damn, I pulled this off, huh? Wow. Did not see that coming."
yeah. I'm assuming the case it starts Monday. Yeah, Monday. Of course, Monday that's jury selection, and I don't want to be anywhere again for jury selection.
Yeah, we don't need to see that.
Ugh.
That was boring.
Yeah.
And you don't need to be there for that. I mean, unless you wanted to study.
I don't. I thought it was interesting because you really do get to know things about the people in the jury.
Yeah.
But you also, I don't know, it's a little bit invasive.
Yeah.
Such a cute baby, such a cute baby,
Yes.
and the
Very
way
cute
that
thing.
she passed is almost unbelievable.
Yeah. It's so sad.
Because I wasn't expect when I said that they, tinfoil or aluminum foil. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You will hear tinfoil in the trial probably because Tennessee aluminum foil in the mouth. I've never heard of that before ever.
No, I mean, how did you die from that? Like, I don't understand. They just jammed it down her throat?
But now they're saying she was wrapped in it and put in the
I
garbage.
wonder if they did that to like keep the smell down.
Probably.
Like why in the world would they do that? If not to keep the smell down or something,
I don't know.
So sad, man. It's horrible.
I wish it wasn't Thursday
Why?
because I would have more time to prepare.
Oh,
well, we'll figure it out. I'll figure it
Yeah.
out.
Absolutely.
All right, y'all. That's all we got tonight. I thought it was a great stream. I appreciate y'all for participating so much.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
We know that true crime isn't for everybody.
Yeah,
But I do
but
love
we-
it. You know,
yeah.
I appreciate it so much that you guys are hanging out with us.
Yes. And we will see y'all soon. Hey, Stadius. Good to see ya. Bye, y'all.
Bye, guys.